Gary, I heard another video interview where you said, and I think I'm quoting you here, Pretty Woman was a disaster of a car wreck before we got it made.
It was. Every film is. It wasn't Pretty Woman. I'm not picking on Pretty Woman. Every film, you know, goes down cul-de-sacs and goes off the rails and burns up in a disastrous set of flames. Every film gets rejected. Every film, the cast falls apart, the financing falls out, the distribution falls out again and again and again. The fastest I've ever gotten a script produced and on screen is 3 years, and that's considered super fast. Many films take a lot longer than that. So you can imagine how many problems. The stakes are really high. Every film is a startup. It's a business. It's a startup. So you've got the standalone business model where you say, the stakes are massively high because I'm spending 40, 20, $50 million. That doesn't include the marketing budget for the opening weekend. I'm bringing together 100, 200 people who've never worked together, and they must work together perfectly beginning day one because I've got a $100,000 a day burn rate. You're talking 30 languages. You've got bankers and insurers and bond people. You've got every creative department to talk to in their language. You've got the music people. You've got everything. And you've got to keep all this flowing quickly and beautifully in the same direction. And you're going to make this film where you're going to give the best away as a trailer for free and risk everything on an opening weekend these days. This is a crazy business model. No one should ever fund these things. But they get through because we have a big appetite for this, because it's powerful. So yeah, every film that I've ever produced died a few deaths, and there are many films that never came back to life. Pretty Woman, to actually answer your question, Pretty Woman was optioned to a company that went into bankruptcy, and just before it went into court, I grabbed it in a cash-out deal, or it would have been lost forever. The next company I optioned to also couldn't get it financed and made or cast. Richard Gere passed on the film a couple of times before we got it to Disney, and they made him an offer he couldn't refuse. I had Julia Roberts attached, but the studio didn't want her because she was an unknown at the time. And the timing to make everything meet in the middle is almost like a miracle when it finally gets to that point. And I think that in a way, I have this sort of Zen or romantic notion that you have to fail a lot. You have to bump into a lot of walls. You have to really figure out how to get this right. And that when you do, you'll get your film made.